Welcome everyone! In the last video, we found out what is a blockchain. If you didn't see that video, I strongly recommend you to go and watch it before continuing with this one. The link will pop out just in a corner right here. To even deepen our understanding, let's skip to the blockchain demo. Let me explain what a hash is. The hash is simply any data which is being hashed or encrypted by this secure hash algorithm of 256 bits. So let's get the full understanding of what the block is. So this block is not in a blockchain. So as you can see, we have just one hash. Great. So back to these four important pieces of information in each block. We have block number, we have nonce, we have any type of data. In the real world, it would be transactions or smart contract interactions in a blockchain or any messages people are sending peer-to-peer on a blockchain. And then we have the hash. In this case, when we have a block, not just a hash, the hash is made of the data set of these three information as block number, nonce, and the data. The block is mined already, so if I try to change anything in the state of the blockchain, the hash is changing with it. Why? Because the hash is made of these three pieces of data. So if we want to change the hash that the block agrees, we have to remine the whole block. And the hash adjusts accordingly. And again, if you want to change something, just a space, the hash changes completely and we would have to remind the block again that the hash agrees to these three pieces of data. Great. Let's move to the blockchain. In front of us is a blockchain that contains 5 different blocks. In the real world, blockchains are way too more complex, containing tens to hundreds of thousands of blocks. And regarding data, there is not just plain text, but transactions, smart contract interactions, minting of NFTs, anything you can imagine that is going on a blockchain. If you look at these blocks now, the only difference is that these blocks are already in a blockchain, so each block contains 2 different hashes and not just one. This is a first block in a blockchain. So the hash of the previous block looks like this because there is no previous block, right? This is hash of the block previous, and this is the hash of the block of its own. This hash of its own block is constructed not just from these 3 key pieces of information, but from all of these 4 key pieces of information. Simply said, we need block number, nonce, data, and the hash of the block previous to construct hash of its own block. They are chained in a specific manner, and this is why it is called a blockchain. They are chained by this cryptographic encryption. And as you can see, in the second block, the previous hash matches the hash of the previous block of its own. You see? And then, when we took all of these 4 key pieces of information with this hash of the previous block including, we can create a new hash out of it. And again, the new hash B6EFF is matching. And again, we have to take all of these 4 key pieces of information, and then, only then, we can create or construct a new hash out of this information. 51 ABF, 51 ABF, or DBF, I cannot even read. Never mind. And so on And if there would be a sixth block, this hash would be on the place of the hash previous in the block number 6. So I hope that you understand. Let's go to the real example, which is a distributed blockchain. Distributed blockchain is a blockchain in the real world with which some of you are already interacting with any crypto exchanges, NFTs, or buying any coins, whatever. So you are interacting with these types of blockchain. And as you can see, this distributed blockchain is run just by 3 people or 3 nodes that are validating transactions and competing for the reward, which we will talk about shortly. You see, we have peer A, we have peer B, and we have person C. Independently, they can be in another country, they can even potentially be in another planet, but let's just stick to what we know. So all of them will be on this planet in this example. All of them have the same copy of a blockchain being updated in real time. So as you see, even these hashes are the same. Of course, as you could already realize, all of these hashes are starting with 4 zeros. So then, the first hash of the block previous is EA8BBC. BBC. BBC News, of course. And then the other hash is E4B90. EA8BBC, E4B90. AEB BBC, E4B90. So as you can see, all of these copies of a blockchain that each person A to C have at the moment are identical. Right now, we are coming to the point why and how, until now, Bitcoin or any proof of work blockchain has never ever been hacked. Let's go to the first person second block, let's say. Okay. There is a hidden message as well. If you like the content, smash the like and subscribe button. It will be much appreciated. And let's get back to the topic. If person A decides to cheat the blockchain, that him or somebody who he knows, and it will be very beneficial for both of them to change the state of the blockchain, that someone didn't send 10 bitcoins but just 5 of them, he can in that case double spend these 5 bitcoins again. And as you see, this hash has changed, and due to this has changed the whole chronology of the blockchain. So it doesn't matter if we change anything in this data column, or if it's the nonce, or if it's just the block number. Right? So in a real world, somebody would like to change the transaction, most likely. So he would put 5 Bitcoin. And as you see, the blockchain doesn't agree. And just due to the blockchain being distributed, and this is why it is important that every validator have a copy of a blockchain being updated in real time. In this case, there are just 3 validators, but there would be hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. So they can broadcast to each other that something is wrong in a blockchain because somebody, the peer A, is calling that this is the right state of the blockchain. And it's important to mention that these validators just have to check the last hash of the last block. So let's have a look. This person A is saying, oh, but my version of the blockchain is different. Your one has to be wrong. But he's the one who wanted to cheat, right? So what happens? Then these other validators, it would be hundreds, even thousands of them, that they would have this version of a blockchain. So the hash would be E8DE, E8DE, and this person have completely different final hash. So if 1,000 people have the same version of a blockchain and one person or just 3 people have different version of a blockchain, then you know who is right and everybody can verify it. So this is why the blockchain is being secured and nobody can double spend, nobody can even cheat, and nobody can even hack the network. There are some scenarios in which potentially the Bitcoin blockchain could be hacked, which is called 51% attack. But it is too expensive to perform this kind of attack that it's not even worth cheating in this case. And it's not even possible to get that much electricity and energy to be able to mine even faster than these other miners, to remine all of these blocks that all of these hashes agree. And you would have to mine even faster than the rest of the network, which is not really possible. Great, hopefully you understood what is behind blocks and you finalized how the blockchain actually works from the last video. Well done, guys!